So, what the hell is this? It's a Razik Vortex, a bicycle like no other. You can see just from looking at it that there's something not quite normal about this frame, and the most obvious thing is that the frame tubes appear to be essentially missing, replaced by some sort of weird skeletal structure. We first saw this technology back in 2008. It's called IsoTruss. The clue in the name is that it's a truss instead of a standard tube structure, and it's made up of carbon Kevlar fibres that are sort of impregnated with a resin and then baked like a carbon frame, and it's ridiculously stiff, just horribly painfully stiff. If you hit your knee against the top tube, it hurts, and I did many times whilst riding this bike. You might very well ask why IsoTruss, and to be honest, that's the question we were asking ourselves. The obvious justification is that it is very, very stiff for its weight. This bike weighs just over the UCI weight limit. It's 6.85 kilos with aluminium clinchers on it, which is quite impressive. I mean, they're light wheels and it's got some nice carbon bars on it and stuff. But it's a very light bike, there's no question. When we started riding it, that was really nice. You know, it climbs beautifully, power transfer is really very good for a bike this light, so that's all great. But it's a little more nuanced than that, because this bike does have some fairly major flaws that we discovered in the course of testing. This down tube's got holes in it, so does the top tube. So that means that water has a more or less uninterrupted path through the bike frame and onto you. So after riding it, I had to clean the whole front of my neck off, which is not really part of my usual post-ride ritual. Frame stiffness comes in many flavours. Now there are some really phenomenally stiff race bikes out there which manage to be, if not plush, still comfortable. There's, for example, something like the BMC SLR03, which has this amazing firmness that just sort of follows the road surface but also transmits power very well. The Razik has the stiffness to transmit power, climbs really, really well, and also obviously its low weight is really beneficial for that. The problem is that it also transmits a lot of vibration to the rider. So if you're hooning down a descent, you hit a pothole, it's like getting a punch from below. And that's, you know, it throws you off your line, it's uncomfortable, and it makes for quite nervous descending. It probably sounds like I don't like this bike very much, and if I'm honest, I do have my reservations. What this bike demonstrates is that IsoTruss is a really interesting technology. It's got phenomenal strength for its weight. There's videos on YouTube of people driving cars over these tubes and them not braking. But at the same time, it needs a lot of refinement to make a bike that I personally would actually want to ride. There's no question though that it is a head turner, and it's very light and it's very stiff. So if those are the criteria that you're looking for in a bike, maybe consider giving the Razik a try. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I should say that. Yeah.